I'm going to read you something. This was an email I received from an employee of a company that I used to work for. Hi Andrew. Sorry I haven't replied earlier. Difficulty accessing emails. I would like to see you if possible to perhaps update you with all the various diagnostics that have been thrown at me and how these may affect me in my future. I'll try and call you on Monday to arrange an appointment, or maybe you can go back through my manager and tell her a convenient time that I can call you. Thanks. Now this was an email that when I received it, I knew I was in for an interesting encounter with this said employee. This is somebody who was avoiding me. You know, the person who gets referred to management or to human resources or to whatever department because, well, predominantly, they're never there. They're always off sick, they're always ill, there's always a crisis, and just when the sick pay starts to run out, it's amazing how quickly they recover and come back to work. Usually for the exact and precise number of days they need to come back in order to restore their normal pay, and then they're ill again and off they go. These are the people that play the system. Anyone that's worked in human resources or in large organizations will be very familiar with this kind of conduct and behavior. Now, one of the things I used to do, and I still do, but less so these days, is to deal with sickness absence management. One of the things people would pay me to do, or companies would pay me to do, was to go in where there was high levels of absenteeism and basically sort out the situation. Because often you have people that are officially at work, even though they're never there, which means the organization can't advertise their job to get somebody in who can do the job better. And of course, there's all sorts of protections in place and so on that prevent employers just going, right, we don't like you, you're sacked. And justifiably so. But there's a tiny minority of people in any workplace that know how to play the system better than the system knows how to play itself. So I get called in to be a consultant, which is kind of entertaining sometimes. Now, one of the things I know is that when you look at certain communications from people, there are patterns inside that communication that get revealed. And these are the patterns in the integral eye movement therapy model are referred to as the patterns of chronicity. Or, because more patterns have emerged, the 5 primary patterns of chronicity, because it just sounds better that way. Now, there's 5 patterns. There's others, which is why we call them primary, but there's 5 main ones. Now, these came about by working with chronic clients, either the chronic absentees in workplaces or clients that were coming to me with problems that were not going away. In the face of all of the therapy they were being given, their problems persisted. And what I wanted to know was, are there patterns of behavior that all of these people who can defeat therapists so effectively, are there patterns they all have in common? And I pretty much came up with these 5 that I'm going to go through with you. Now, here is my observation here. These patterns, when presented in a therapeutic context, will defeat the therapist. You can try as much as you like to do whatever therapeutic approach you like, whether it's mindfulness or if it's CBT, if you're doing NLP or hypnosis. If these 5 patterns are present, the chances are you're going to receive emails of this nature or communications later where they say things like, well, it didn't really work for me. I've tried so many different things now. I don't know, maybe I'm one of those people that can't be helped. You get that style of communication. So what I'm going to do is I want to go through the 5 patterns of chronicity one at a time, basically to tell you what they are. Here's the bit you need to know. The integral eye movement therapy model is a bit where we move our eyes. It's a superb remedial change work model. Basically, it fixes the bad stuff very effectively. It's very good for trauma and traumatized emotions. So people have all these horrible feelings inside them. They don't know why. Okay, IEMT works perfectly for that. Now, unlike other eye movement models such as EMDR or EMI, IEMT, Integral Eye Movement Therapy, is built around these 5 patterns. So rather than necessarily going straight for the symptoms of chronic clients, like most therapeutic approaches would do, What IEMT enables us to do is to deal with the patterns that simply prevent time being a healer. Here is my observation. Remove these 5 patterns, most problems start to heal of their own accord over time. So, on with the patterns.